I could see that crack would make a good anchor point. Maybe not.
Right.
I'd damaged that tree enough for one day. I could see that crack would make a good anchor point.
That wouldn't hold my weight. That's what I need.
With a flourish, I tied the end of the towel to the stick with a textbook reef knot.
Maybe not.
I could see that crack would make a good anchor point.
There we go. That wouldn't hold his weight. A towel and stick.
Well, that looked really safe. But I had no choice. I hadn't anticipated going mountaineering when I'd come to Syria.
Okay.
I didn't like the idea of putting my hand in there. But hey, what the heck? I was only risking mutilation. No blade took my hand off at the wrist, and no scorpion stung me, for which I was very grateful. But there was something in there, a metal ring, as wide as my hand. I took a firm hold of the ring. I tried not to think of death traps, and pulled. Whoa there! Around the corner, I found the corpse. Oh my God. Klausner? Large as life and twice as dead. I'd hardly had time to accept the fact when I heard the door mechanism start up again. Oh man, no! The door had slammed shut, trapping me. I had a bad feeling about how Klausner had died.
It's a bit of Indiana Jones type stuff.
I couldn't think of anything to do with the statue, apart from scaring small children with it. I couldn't take the inscription with me. All I could do was stare at it and try to memorize it. In accidenta cita est in ora mundi. Okay, that would have to do.
That's Indiana Jones. Look, it's got his whip. That is Indiana Jones.
I've done more fun things in my life than searching a corpse, but as my life expectancy wasn't great, I figured I should try every new challenge that came my way. I cautiously flicked open the jacket. Hey, what's this? I'd found some kind of lens. A very old lens made from a very hard glass. That
That's what we
settled
need.
it. The knight on the manuscript had been holding a lens the whole time, not a crystal ball. Bullwhips might be handy for exploring ancient ruins, but they're no use when you're trapped in a cave. Klausner clearly fancied himself as a latter-day Indiana Jones.
Yep.
There was nothing else in the pouch. Whatever had been in the bottle had been drunk. Klausner must have died of thirst and dehydration.
So that's Klausner. Let's try lens on statue. Oh,
I couldn't think of anything to do with the statue, apart from scaring small children with it. I couldn't think of...
mm.
In
Not yet.
accidenta sita est in ora mundi. Okay.
Earlier.
In...
Everything goes off. Unless it be light.
In accidenta sita est in ora mundi. Okay. In accidenta sita est in ora mundi. Okay. In accidenta sita est in ora mundi. Okay. I couldn't think of anything to do with the statue, apart from scaring small children with it. A stone head bearing 3 bearded faces. It was a strange image, but a powerful one, redolent with antiquity and ancient mysteries. The mouth's opening. It must be Ultar. My God, if he comes in, we'll both be trapped. Ultar! Don't come in! It's a trap! Stay where you are! You!
Hello, Mr. Stobbart. We meet in the most unusual places. Please, do not make any sudden moves. I have no desire to maim you.
Did you say maim?
I did. Dead men tell no tales, as you say. And I want to hear everything that you have to tell me.
And what if I don't want to talk?
then I shall, most regrettably, have to kill you. Rest assured, however, that I am an excellent shot you would not suffer.
Oh, that's good. Believe me, I'm really assured.
It is rather dark in here. I think we should conduct our business outside.
Why should I make myself an easier target?
If I fire at you, Mr. Stobbart, I shall hit you even in here. But, unfortunately, my marksmanship will suffer. It could be the difference between hitting you in the leg or the groin.
Boy, it sure is hot in here.
No sudden moves, Mr. Stobbart. Now then, where shall we start?
How about being bosom buddies and you putting that gun away?
Klausner, do you know where he is?
Yep, he's dead. Just around the corner of the cave. You want to look?
I'll take your word for it. How did he die?
Starvation or dehydration by the look of it.
He was caught in this trap you were shouting about? Yes, I suspected as much. The Templars were not ones to give away their secrets lightly. Was he carrying anything of importance?
No, nothing.
So, why is this location important? What did the Templars hide here if not an artifact?
Well, there was something in Latin up on the wall.
Latin? Do you remember it, Mr. Stobbart? What did it say?
In accidenta cita est, in ora mundi.
Ah, the words of Caesar. Yes, that makes sense.
Well, I know that roughly it means to the west, to the edge of the world. But what the heck is that about?
It tells me where the sword of Baphomet lies. Mr. Stobbart, I am sure that you are just what you appear to be. A gifted amateur.
Thanks, I think.
But I can no longer tolerate your interference. There is far more at stake than you realize.
So what are you going to do?
I regret that we must end this here and now. Your only choice now is whether you die like a man or like a dog.
Hey, look now. Don't kill me. I've got money. Maybe we can cut a deal.
You disappoint me.
Okay, you're the boss. I'll take my medicine.
I should like to shake your hand.
Luckily, the canopy on Ultar's truck broke my fall.
Thank goodness for that.
The worst part of the experience was Ultar's driving.
What about the lens? Is it still in one piece?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's good to see you again, George.
Really? Well, I have to say, I'd have enjoyed Syria a lot more if you'd been there.
I wouldn't have been much help. Anyway, you did just fine on your own.
Hello, viewer. We're playing Broken Swords, the original game. Hope you enjoy it.
Have you any idea what this lens might be used for?
As a magnifying glass, obviously.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. A knight with a crystal ball. The knight scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened. There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. There's a guy working on a loom. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
Look there, two guys on the same horse.
Hey, Nico, shake hands with me.
No chance, Buster.
I brought you a present from Syria.
Oh, George, you shouldn't have bothered. What is it?
This.
A necklace. It's rather heavy.
Ethnic craftsmanship at its most rustic.
Oh, of course, I love it.
You do?
It will always remind me of you.
No. I'd better get back to the quest. You're back.
Oui, I have returned.
No way. You're back.
Oui.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you back here again.
No? Well, it is a strange thing, but I am here on duty.
On duty? But you're just sitting there drinking wine.
No, I am not just drinking wine. I am undercover.
I must be missing something. You're in uniform.
Precisely, monsieur. My cover is that of an indolent, wine-guzzling police officer.
You've got me convinced.
Merci. But in reality, my every muscle is poised, every nerve honed. I am drawn tight, ready to pounce. Bang!
Who or what were you planning to pizzang on?
You must have heard, monsieur, of the terror that is gripping Paris.
You mean the killings? Oh, at last, someone's taken action.
People die every day. No, I am on the trail of Sewer Jacques.
Who?
Sewer Jacques, the terror of the subterranean city. He pops up here, he pops up there. The cops, they seek him everywhere. Is he so hush or beneath the neck? That damned elusive Sewer Jacques.
Bravo, that's very good.
Merci. I was up half the night writing that.
Who is this Sewer Jacques character anyway?
Ah, if we but knew that, we could have him in custody in an hour. But he is cunning to despoil the sewers of our fair city. He has committed many deceptions. He has pretended to be a police officer and deluded a poor war veteran.
Uh-oh.
He has pretended to be a jongleur.
Wow, is that the time?
And an American tourist. What nationality are you, monsieur?
Canadian. Well, gotta go now. See ya. Well, it's not everyone who can say they started an urban myth. The lens fitted into the end of the scroll like a hand into a glove. On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack. Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Do you speak Latin?
You ask this of a priest?
Okay. Can you tell me what per disciplinum meam lux videbus means?
Let me see. That will be, by my teachings, you will see the light. I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Is the right-hand window original?
Oui, monsieur.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus. Hey! Distortions came sharply and broken. It was a Knight Templar, burning at the stake. And below him a date in Roman numerals. A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. Let me see. MCCCXIV. That's 1314. Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported. Per disciplinum meum lux videbus. A Knight Templar burning at the stake, and a date. Let me see. MCCCXIV. That's 1314. I didn't have time to... I solved another puzzle.
You did?
Well, I guess I did.
Well, what was it? What's the answer?
1314.
What does that mean?
It was the date when Jacques de Molay was burned, wasn't it?
Of course.
The answer was hidden in a stained glass window. When I looked through the lens, the picture changed. It became a man surrounded by flames.
It seems to me the answers to the Templar puzzles are as cryptic as the clues. Sometimes I wonder if the manuscript isn't an elaborate joke.
The Knights Templar weren't the kind of people to play jokes, were they? I'd better get back to the quest. Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie. Where have you been? Nicole said you were away.
I just returned from Syria.
Syria? On the trail of the Templars?
It's a long story, but I found the bull's head. It was referred to on the manuscript, remember?
Yes. What is it?
A secret cave built into a high cliff face. In the cave, I discovered a map bearing a phrase in Latin. In occidenta sita est in ora mundi.
The island of Britain.
Lies at the edge of the world, to the west.
Strange. That map seems to contain a series of pointers.
Like I said, it's a treasure map. Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras.
Who's he?
A Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No, they're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They are probably long dead.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
I'm no student of architecture, but the little building looked old. I wondered if it was some sort of summer house. Hi, is this the De Vasconcelos house?
Who wants to know?
I could tell the old coot was going to be trouble. My name's George Stobbart. I was wondering whether...
The house is not open to the public.
This is the De Vasconcelos house.
And what business is that of yours, senor?
Look, all I want is to speak to the head of the household.
There is no household. Only the Countess and myself.
Tell me about the Countess de Vasconcelos.
She doesn't receive guests. That's all you need to know.
You don't even know what I have to talk to her about.
She hasn't won the lottery, has she?
No, she hasn't won the lottery.
A more cunning man might have claimed that she had.
Oh yeah? They might have, might they?
And that more cunning man would have been kicked off the premises. The Countess doesn't do the lottery.
What do you know about the Templars?
Who wants to know?
Are you angling for a bribe or something?
You have nothing that I want, senor, except the pleasure of your absence.
The guy was obviously protecting the Countess against the whole world. But why? Do you recognize this man?
No.
This lab pass mean anything to you?
Nothing.
Would you like to shake hands?
I do not think so, senor.
Look at this tissue.
It's a tissue with some greasy muck on it.
Yes, that's right. What do you make of this?
So that's it. You're a salesman.
If I was hawking medical supplies, I can think of better places to hawk them. Do you know what this is?
See, I have a similar tool for opening culverts on the estate.
Have you got any use for a fistful of plaster?
No.
I'll be going for now.
Adios, senor.
I'm no student of architect. I wondered if... The main part of the house was old, but nowhere near as old as the gatehouse section.
Hey, you.
Yeah? What is it?
You would not like it if people just wandered into your home, would you?
Well, no, I guess not.
Then show a little consideration.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't like the idea of carrying 30 yards of hose around me, so I left it alone.
My hose has stopped.
Yeah?
See, my hose never stops.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it. It's always sad when an old tradition comes to an end.
Did you have anything to do with it?
Well, I'm shocked. I'm mortified. How could you think such a thing?
Very easily, senor. Very easily. I'm going to find out why my hose has stopped. And that means going into the house. You are not, absolutely not, to go in the house. If you do go in the house, I will set the dogs on you.
The armor was about my size. I had a mental vision of putting it on and clanking off to see the Countess, with the gardener hanging hopelessly on the outside trying to stop me. Apart from being stupid and unworkable, it was a great plan.
Hey, you,
Who, me?
come here.
I know this doesn't look good, but
Look, senor, all I want is a quiet life. A life without mad, house-breaking foreigners in it. Understand?
Look, I just wanted to, use the bathroom.
Leave now, please.
Okay, I'm going. The main part of the house was old, but nowhere near as old as the gatehouse section. The armor was about my size. I had a mental vision of putting it on and clanking off to see the Countess, with the gardener hanging hopelessly on the outside trying to stop me. Apart from being stupid and unworkable, it was a great plan.
Hey,
Oops. I know this doesn't...
look, senor, understand?
Look,
Leave.
okay. I love suits of armor. Who doesn't? There was no way that I wanted to draw attention to myself. It's locked. Rats. From a distance, I thought it might be a summer house. Close up, I wasn't so sure. I wasn't about to go clambering on rooftops if I didn't have to. There was a statue of a guy on top of the building. He looked like a knight with a spear and some sort of staff. Rats. Down below the estate, I could see the sea stretching away. It was a beautiful sight, and looked a lot like the scene from the manuscript.
Hey, you. I know you are there, American. All right, you dogs. I'm coming.
Madre Dios, who are you?
My name's George Stobbart. I'm sorry to burst in like this.
You must leave at once. You're not wanted here.
Please, if you'd just listen a minute.
Very well. State your business, Senor Stobbart.
There's been a series of murders, part of some conspiracy. Anyway, the trail led me here.
Here? There is nothing for the outside world here.
Over 600 years ago there was.
What do you mean?
This whole thing ties in somehow with the Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar are dust.
They had a secret that was so important, they went to a lot of trouble to hide it.
I do not see what this has to do with my family.
Your family had a strong connection with the Templars, right? I believe that they have planted some clues here.
Why should I believe a complete stranger who barges into my home?
Just let me have a look around. If I find nothing...
You'll be spending the night at the police station. Very well. Please, sit down.
I know your family is involved with the Templars, but I don't know how.
You should be asking how my family were involved, Senor Stobbart. The Templars ceased to exist centuries ago. And as for the Vasconcelos, the line dies with me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Okay, whatever happened almost 700 years ago. So, if the Templars left any clues, they're going to be in stuff that dates back to the early 14th century.
Obviously.
So, what do you have around here that's early medieval?
Early medieval. Let me think. Well, the house is relatively modern, a scant 3 centuries old. Or, of course, the chess set.
That chess set is over 600 years old? It must be worth a fortune.
Indeed it is. Not that I would part with it, of course.
No, I wouldn't either. That's the sort of thing that gets handed down to your children. Sorry.
Its value is less than you might think. The set is not complete. One of the pieces is a modern replacement. As to the original, It was lost a long time ago.
Nobody has any idea where it is?
No. The children had it when they were taken.
Children? What children?
All in good time, Senor Stobbart.
May I examine the chess set?
Certainly. But do not move any of the pieces.
Okay, thanks. Close up, the modern piece stood out like a sore thumb. There was something else odd about the set. All of the original pieces had irregular bases.
My lady, I have to warn you, there's a... You! Why, I'll feed you to the dogs.
Lopez, what have I told you about feeding intruders to the dogs?
But, my lady...
Never without my permission. Senor Stobbart, if I find that you're wasting my time, you will be fed to the dogs. Now, I want to show you something interesting. Follow me. Lopez, unlock the door, por favor. This is the only remaining structure on the estate contemporary with the Templars.
Nice. What is it, a summer house?
A mausoleum, Senor Stobbart.
Oh.
Come with me.
Hey, senor.
Yeah?
I do not know what you have told my lady to be shown these favors, but I do not trust you.
You've got nothing to worry about. Aren't you coming in?
No, the dead do not interest me. My garden is a living thing. I will be there.
Wow, this is old.
It was constructed in the 13th century as the final resting place for the De Vasconcelos Templars.
It's well maintained.
These are my ancestors, and they deserve respect. I come here at least once a week to say a prayer for them.
Mind if I have a look around?
By all means.
On removing the Bible, I found a pattern on the lectern top. Hey! It's a checkerboard! Close up, I could see that the pattern was made up of glass squares over a checkerboard pattern. Now what? There was nothing to snuff. Feeling like an idiot, I put it down again. A big statuette of the Virgin Mary kept an eye on the place. Hanging from the ceiling was a huge yellowed candle. It looked really old and had never been lit. The mausoleum contained 5 tombs for 5 of the Knights Templar, man-size in marble. Close up, I could see that the pattern was made up of glass squares over a checkerboard pattern. I couldn't climb up there without breaking something. Now what? There was nothing to snuff. Feeling like an idiot, I put it down again. May I ask you something?
You may ask.
Who exactly are these people?
My ancestors. These 5 men were all members of the Templars.
5 ancestors in the order. You must be very proud.
Not 5, 6.
Where's the 6th knight?
He was lost to us.
You lost an ancestor?
It is a family matter. It can have no relevance.
Well, it's connected with the curse of the De Vasconcelos, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I hope you will honor my desire not to talk about it.
Okay, well, I'll leave it for now. Is the Virgin Mary really the right person to be sharing a mausoleum with 5 knights?
You are showing your ignorance, Senor Stobbart. The Templars were dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
What's the story with the glass chessboard?
Glass chessboard. Oh, the pattern on the lectern. Purely decorative, I'm sure.
There are pieces of glass missing from it.
Oh, it has been like that since I was a girl.
The gaps in the glass chessboard look awfully deliberate.
No, it is ridiculous. What possible significance can it have?
It's part of a chessboard, and the gaps are for...
Senor Stobbart, you cannot mean...
This place was built for the Templars. Your chess set is as old as the Templars. It's kind of suggestive, isn't it? I think this must be it. This is what the manuscript is pointing to.
This is extraordinary. Am I to understand that the Templars left a puzzle here? And in all of this time, we failed to realize that there was a puzzle?
It was wonderful to watch the Countess change before my eyes.
Right. Well, no time for wallowing in self-pity, eh, Senor Stobbart? This mystery has had a good long run, but it ends here and now.
All those years of fatalism were falling away from her.
Lopez! Lopez! Put that hose down and listen! Go to the house and get my chess set. Yes, the old chess set! Now hurry! My, this is exciting, is it not?
Don't get too excited. This could be a blind alley.
Oh, I do not believe that for a moment.
It's good to see you happy.
Happy? You know, I think I am.
While we're waiting, I'd really like to know what happened here. I mean, the curse and everything?
It all began at the time of the dissolution of the Templars. Don Carlos had already left their ranks to become a scholar.
Don Carlos, is he the guy who went missing?
Si, but he had reckoned without the local bishop. The bishop envied us our lands and determined to use the papal edict as an excuse to destroy us. Don Carlos was on one of his scholarly journeys when the Inquisition arrived. When Don Carlos returned, it was to find his loyal manservant slain and his children gone.
They took the kids? But why?
Oh, we will never know. The bishop denied all knowledge of the children's disappearance. But witnesses had seen his men kill the servant who had been charged to protect them.
What happened to Don Carlos?
He swore he'd find his children if he had to go to the edge of the world. He put on his armor and took up his sword and shield and rode out alone. He was never seen again. Ah, Lopez, you have the pieces.
Si, my lady, as you asked.
Por favor, Senor Stobbart, would you be so kind?
My lady.
Calm yourself, Lopez. I believe Senor Stobbart's motives are pure.
Very well, my lady. My lady seems to trust you.
But you don't.
No, senor.
It fits, Senor Stobbart. It fits.
Working quickly, I found which pieces went into which holes. place, the square bases fit onto the white pieces. I just had to figure out where to place them. Bingo! I mean, checkmate.
Senor Stobbart, look!
What is that? It's not the Holy Grail, is it?
No, Senor Stobbart. It is the communion chalice of the De Vasconcelos, missing for almost 700 years.
Wow. Well, go on.
I cannot. I can hardly believe it is real.
Go ahead. Live a little.
Are you sure? This is your moment of triumph, Senor Stobbart.
Sure, I'm sure. The possibility of death traps only occurred to me a few days later.
So the curse of the De Vasconcelos is lifted?
Oh no, the Countess was thrilled to find the lost chalice, but there's still the riddle of the missing knight.
Well, you can forget about that now and get back to finding the Templar's secret.
Actually, I promised the Countess I'd find Don Carlos.
You what?
I can explain everything.
You have got the odds for a withered old Spanish aristocrat?
The Countess entrusted me with the chalice and the quest for her ancestor's tomb.
You're as crazy as she is. Haven't you got enough problems? Khan and the Templars?
It's all part of the same thing. The chalice is important, I'm sure. The manuscript pointed us to the knight, and I have to find him.
What then?
I don't know. But when the knight and the chalice are reunited, maybe I will. Is there something going on between you and Labano?
What business is it of yours? We agreed all this. The clown, the Templars, strictly business, remember?
Yeah, but...
So get off my case.
I'd better get back to the quest. I think he suspected me of being the mysterious Sewer Jacques. And the last thing I needed at the moment was to be arrested for crimes against public sanitation. And the last thing I needed at the moment... Hello again, Father.
Bonjour, monsieur. How pleasant to speak to you again.
What do you make of this chalice?
It certainly looks very old.
About as old as this church, I think.
There seems to be an engraving on it.
Yeah? What does it say?
I do not know. It is very tarnished. With your permission, I could try polishing it. I promise I will be very careful.
That'd be very good of you.
This shouldn't take very long. Feel free to look around.
Okay, thanks. Hey, thanks.
It is my pleasure, monsieur.
What was the writing on the chalice?
It was not writing, my mistake. It was a coat of arms. The remarkable thing is that it seems very familiar.
Yeah?
Oui, I think I have seen it on that wall tomb in the far corner. That winged horse is quite distinctive.
Is the right-hand window original?
Oui, monsieur.
Boy, what a shine you got on this.
Merci. It is all in the wrist action.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
In comparison to its neighbor, it looked pretty plain. To think of the long... A scroll was a symbol of scholarship. A stone knight lay at the end of a row of 4. I wondered if this guy had died in combat. A stone knight lay in full stone armor, blank eyes looking at the ceiling. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work. Now that my attention had been drawn to it, there was no mistake. There was no name on it, but the coat of arms was undeniably the Pegasus of the De Vasconcelos family. I'd found the last resting place of Don Carlos. My eye was drawn to the biblical references carved into the edge of the tomb. Hey, maybe these biblical references mean something. Psalms 22:21. Not much to go on, but it must have meant something. If I examine the tomb more closely, there might be other clues to find. Psalms 32:7. The numbers referred to a chapter and a verse in the Bible. Corinthians 14:5. John 4:11. There were no more references to find, but a series of Roman numerals ran around the plaque. I made a note in case they meant something. Psalms 32:7, John 4:11, Corinthians 1:4-5, and just one more, Psalms 22:21. I may not be perfect, but I've got a memory like a steel trap. The chalice had led me to these inscriptions, but it looked like a happy coincidence to me. After all, the De Vasconcelos arms were already on the manuscript. Nope, I was still convinced that the chalice had some significance all of its own. I didn't have time to sit around. Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Baphomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Baphomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
At the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Baphomet?
It's a fearful image, even now. A bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
No way. Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions. What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoked so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
When I finish my break, an interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur. Hey, you! Get away from...
Okay. Hi, it's me again.
What now?
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Yes, it's a communion chalice. I know, you know, I used to be an altar boy.
You?
Yes, me. What's so funny about that?
Nothing. Has a guy calling himself Merlin been nosing around?
Was he wearing a t-shirt with "My name is Merlin" on it?
I doubt it.
Then how the hell am I supposed to know his name just by looking at him? Huh?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little potter pipe. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though, I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
Three-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur. Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
The painter had a pot of gunmetal gray primer hanging from the barrier.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
The painter had a pot of... The painter had a...
Hey, monsieur!
Okay.
I should...
Hi? Excuse me?
Oui?
So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy. I just didn't realize you were a guard. I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground. What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Hi, Nico?
Georges, what have you discovered?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Is something wrong?
No.
Georges, why are you calling me?
Oh, no reason. I just wanted to hear your voice.
You did? Well, this is my voice saying, don't bother me, I'm busy.
Oh. The doorway led to an old utility closet that had lost its door. There was nothing interesting in there. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer.
That door is locked, monsieur.
Hi again.
What is it?
I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. Oh, boy. Dirty soap. How do they do that? The taps were rusty. Oh, boy. The cold taps washer looked to have failed. It was just dribbling down the sink. On the wall was an automatic hand dryer. On the wall. On the wall was an... I couldn't do that. Oh, boy! Dirty soap! How do they do that? I couldn't do that. Maybe not. Perhaps I could make a copy of the key. The key had made a clear imprint in the soap. The bar of soap had the imprint of a key in it. I knew keeping that plaster was a good idea. With the plaster and the imprint, I was on the right lines. You can't make a cast. But wet plaster alone does not make a cast. I used the dryer to speed up the process. Well, it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key. Way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well. Maybe not.
Monsieur, don't go with my keys.
Hi again.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Bah!
Collard.
Hello, Nico. It's me.
Hi, Georges. What's happening?
I'm at the excavation, but they won't let me in.
Damn. We need to know what's in there.
Don't worry. I've got a scheme. I'm going to need your help, though.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him. Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? She must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers and his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
What would I... A well-used wheelbarrow was sitting by the rubble-filled dumpster.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
Why, abuse? Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Hi again.
What is it?
No. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial. Hi again.
What is it?
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I couldn't imagine what I'd achieved by turning the dial. A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. The thing felt really hot. Big demands seemed to be being made on it. Being in a charming comfort station like this made me think fondly of the toilet in Syria. That place was kept in pretty good order. At least, it had been until I vandalized it. Still, it was all for a good cause. Now, I'd substituted the fake key for the excavation key. It looked okay, but felt false. I figured I'd best not bother Nico again until I'd got a good reason. I couldn't imagine. Hi again.
What is it?
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
I couldn't give him the keys. The false key looked pretty convincing, but it felt exactly like what it was. Painted plaster. He was bound to detect it. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I figured I'd best... I turned the heating off. As I'd hoped, the guard put his gloves on. Hi again.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, George.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you! It's the phone.
Yeah, who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Pah, don't pah me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss. The door was locked. I couldn't see anything useful to do with the planks. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Baphomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. I couldn't see anything useful to do with the planks. There it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Baphomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower. Just how long have you known Labano?
André? We met at college. He helped me out when I was a fresher. Showed me around, that sort of thing.
You never told me that before. I thought he was just a working acquaintance.
So he is. I rarely see him these days. You know, he hasn't changed much. A little lesser at the front, perhaps. I'd forgotten how much fun he could be.
I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Georges.
Senor Stobbart, oh, what a pleasure. Please, sit down.
Hi, Countess. The pleasure's all mine. I've brought back your chalice.
Why? You've had it cleaned.
Yeah, I met an obliging priest with a soft cloth.
Have you resolved the Templar mystery?
No, not yet. I don't even know what it is I'm after.
There are many stories of the Knights secreting great wealth away.
Whatever. All I know is I don't want the bad guys to get it.
Ah, to be young and live in a world of moral absolutes.
I discovered something amazing with that chalice. In Paris, I found a church where they recognized the coat of arms. I found the tomb of Don Carlos de Vasconcelos.
You are sure? There can be no mistake?
The coat of arms on the chalice matches the one on the tomb.
Incredible. You have my most profound thanks. I must go there as soon as possible.
Yeah? Well, I'd be happy to show you the city. There's something else that I discovered carved on Don Carlos's tomb. Biblical references.
What are the references, Senor Stobbart?
Psalms 32:7, Corinthians.
I am not a good enough scholar to know the Bible chapter and verse. I meant, what are the quotations?
You know, I forgot to ask the priest. I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home. I shall remain here.
It was the driveway down to the main road. I didn't want to leave just yet, though. Mausoleum, some... Now what? There was nothing to snuff. Feeling like an idiot, I put it down again. I couldn't climb up there. Now... It was a small mirror hanging over the sink. Hi there, Lopez. How's tricks?
Senor Stobbart, I feel I owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
I was impolite on our first meeting.
Look, Lopez, just forget about it. I came on like a snake oil merchant. I wouldn't have trusted me in your shoes.
You do not understand. Finding the chalice has given my lady a new lease of life. It's a marvel. She smiles, she laughs. The tradesmen are saying that she is on Prozac.
This Bible's in Spanish.
See?
I would have expected Latin.
Be careful with it. It was a present to my lady from an old friend. He died a long time ago. It is all she has to remember him by.
Okay, I'll handle it with kid gloves. So the Countess feels that the curse is lifted.
I would not put it so strongly. Your discovery of the chalice was proof that the Templars never abandoned the De Vasconcelos. It counts for a great deal with my lady.
I borrowed your mirror. I hope you don't mind.
No, senor. If you think it will be of help.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Ad.
Mausoleums. I wasn't about to go clambering on rooftops if I didn't have to. Hanging from the ceiling was a huge yellowed candle. It looked really old and had never been lit. Hanging from the ceiling was a huge yellowed candle. It looked really old and had never been lit. The candle had burnt brilliantly, but only for a couple of minutes. Some kind of special formulation, I guess. And had yielded up this. A complex shape expertly cut in stone. I figured it was some kind of key. Hello again. Mind if I sit?
Please, be my guest.
What do you make of this?
It looks like some sort of key. Where did you get it from?
It was buried inside the great candle in the mausoleum.
Inside it? What have you done to it?
I, lit it.
But it is irreplaceable.
Listen, the candle was to be lit in case of Moorish attack, right? Well, it burnt down in no time and revealed this key thing. Maybe that was the real purpose of lighting the candle.
What are you suggesting?
That lighting the candle was the equivalent of break glass in case of emergency.
A sentiment must not stand in the way of solving this mystery. You did the right thing.
That is not... Here's the Bible from the mausoleum.
Very well. Let us begin. The first reference.
Psalms 32:7.
Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. My hiding place.
Don't get your hopes up too high. This might just be leading us to where we found the chalice.
You are right, of course. The next.
Okay, John 4:11.
John 4:11. Here. The well is deep. The next. Quickly.
Okay. Corinthians 4:5. 5.
Here it is. Will bring to light the hidden things. Any more?
Just one. Psalms again. 22:21.
Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. The last is confusing. Lions, unicorns, what's it mean?
I can't guess.
Salient points seem to be a hiding place and a deep well. In no sense is there mausoleum a well, Senor Stobbart.
Is there a well in the grounds?
I do not know. I suppose that there must have been once upon a time. Lopez is the man to ask about anything pertaining to the estate.
I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home. I shall remain here.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
You must know just about everything that there is to know about this place.
See, I have lived my whole life here in the service of the Vasconcelos.
Do you know of a well anywhere around here?
A well? Si, senor. This used to be a fortified villa. How can you last a siege without water?
Great. So where is it?
How should I know? The well was covered over in the last century. It was dangerous, you see.
And you have no idea where it was?
None. It was hidden even before my grandfather's time.
You must have a vague idea of where the well is.
It must have been in the old house's courtyard, so that would put it around here.
Here? Okay. Now, how do we find it?
There might be a way. Let me think about it.
Any ideas yet?
We are looking for a source of water, see?
Yes.
For generations, the Spanish country folk have had a secret way of locating water, even if it is meters beneath the ground.
Ah, you're not talking about water dousing, are you?
Eh?
You know, you get a stick and walk around until the stick twitches and dig there.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Yeah, I think most of the planet has. Okay, let's get a stick.
Uno momento. It must be a special stick, a Y of hazel.
Right. Do you have any hazel trees?
See, here. That is hazel.
I went over to find a suitable stick. I don't believe it. There wasn't a single usable Y-shaped branch on the whole damn thing. There wasn't a single... I went over to find a suitable stick. Aha! I didn't like the idea of carrying 30 yards of hose around me, so I left it alone. Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Well, I got my divining rod. Now what?
Simplicity itself, senor. Hold the wand at the upper ends of the Y. Apply a little tension with your wrists so that the slightest movement of the wand's tip is clear, and walk slowly and steadily over the area.
Sounds easy enough. We'll find this well in no time.
Senor Stobbart, you've found something.
This is it. This is where we find the secret of the Templars. Hidden here for hundreds of years. Lost from the sight of man until now. The mystery is revealed.
It's a tin can.
I've been walking up and down with a twig in my hands, looking for a tin can.
It had water in it. That's what the dowsing stick must have detected.
I'd have to check with an archaeologist, but I don't think the Templars left that.
In truth, Senor Stobbart, the loan was laid many, many years ago. This can could date back to the Napoleonic Wars.
Get rid of it and I'll try it again. Lopez threw the can away. It seemed to fall an awfully long way. The splash at the end confirmed what we both suspected. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
It has been here all the time. All those years and nobody found it.
Stood in awe for a moment, marveling at the secrets all around us.
I could have fallen down that.
The well had been lost for decades at least. The air was cool after the noon sun, but that's not what gave me goosebumps. I have a really, really bad feeling about this. Sometime in antiquity, there'd been a rock slide. Big ones. I wished I'd had a hard hat. From a distance, the lion's head had been impressive. Close up, it was frightening. Hey, one of the fangs is a separate piece. I could hear the sound of a lot of stone moving, and I knew I was in danger. Oh, very funny, you psychos!
Senor Stobbart! Senor Stobbart! Are you all right?
It's okay, Lopez, I'm fine!
Que susto me has dado! You gave me a scare!
Nice try, Templars. I wished that I had Leary's flashlight now. It was too dark to see, and I had to rely on touch. It just felt like a pitted stone wall. I'd almost been killed for the sake of a red herring. I realized I could use the mirror to reflect the light from above. In the middle of the door, I could see some kind of socket. It looked like this wasn't quite the dead end it had seemed. I slid the stone key into the lock. There were buttons that turned the dials. I must have made a mistake. The lock spun back to neutral and nearly took my fingers off. I was going to have to start from scratch again. I heard the sounds of the lock moving. Either that or the wall was going to come down on my head. Oh, not another mistake. Wrong again, Stobbart.
Yes.
Bonus points for that, I hope. I knew the old Stobbart fingerwork wouldn't let me down. Before I left, though, there was one last thing to do. You won't be needing that replacement piece anymore, Countess. I found it with the children. You'll probably want to be alone for a while. I'll be out in the garden with Lopez.
George, welcome back.
Come in, George. It's good to see you again.
Is it?
Sure. What did you find in Spain?
Without Andre, we wouldn't have got this far, George.
Yeah, I know. The clues led to an underground chamber at the bottom of a well. The Templars had left a tapestry showing a chessboard. The white pieces were vastly outnumbered. There was a stream running across the board, and a Templar knight on a horse.
Does it mean anything to you, Andre?
No, nothing.
Maybe we should tell Andre what else you found, George.
There's a map and a Latin inscription to the west at the edge of the world.
George found that in a cave in Syria.
Yeah, where the assassin almost killed me.
Then we've got the burning of Jacques de Molay and the date, 1314.
From the window of the church in Montfaucon Square, one of the few places where nobody tried to kill me.
Then we have the image of a church that George found at the excavation. I don't recall anyone trying to kill you there either, George.
And finally we have the tapestry in Spain. Did I mention I almost got killed there?
Not yet, but I'm sure you're about to.
It was only my cat-like reflexes that saved me from certain death.
Cat-like reflexes, eh?
And while I was risking life and limb, where were you, Andre? Getting your glasses fogged up over an Etruscan vase?
That's enough, boys. Can we get back to saving the world?
Of course. My apologies.
He started it.
Well, the Latin phrase are the words of Julius Caesar. He was describing the island of Britain.
Are you sure? The map didn't look much like Britain.
How come Caesar described Britain as being at the edge of the world?
To the Romans, the Mediterranean was the center of the universe. Britain was a remote, unfriendly place, inhabited by blue-painted savages.
It hasn't changed much.
They've stopped painting themselves blue.
Except when they go to a football match.
They used an extract from a plant called woad, Isatis tinctoria. The Scots were using it until fairly recently in their wars with the English.
Fairly recently? I don't recall the Scots being at war with the English. How recently are you talking about?
I believe William Wallace's men used it in the 13th century. They might well have been using it as late as...
You can't remember, can you?
1314.
Ah, we're back onto that, are we?
Andre, what is it? What do you mean?
1314 in Scotland. The Battle of Bannockburn.
That would explain the stream on the chessboard. That's what a burn is. Right, Andre? As in Bannockburn?
Right, George. And it gets better. Tradition has it that the Scots were helped by a shock force of, well, can't you guess?
Knights Templar?
Yes, a group of outlawed Templars. They are said to have turned the tide for the Scots.
And it all ends at a church in the Isle of Britain at Bannockburn in a church.
What are we waiting for? I'll call a cab.
I can't go.
Andre, you've been loads of help, but...
What George is trying to say is that you shouldn't feel guilty.
I was?
We understand you've got commitments. Oh, listen, we have to hurry. Let's go, George.
We'll see it through. Oh, and, don't worry about us. Pardon me. She must be deaf.
Yes, my dear.
Do you know what time we're due in Sterling?
6:15, but we're running 8 minutes late.
Do you know Sterling well?
Yes, I do. Is that where you two lovebirds abound?
Yeah,
It's one of the places we thought we'd see on our holiday.
Be sure to visit the castle, won't you?
Oh, I'm sure it's a neat place. But we are not really interested in history, are we, George?
No. Is there a church called St. Ninian's at Sterling?
Yes, there is. And I know why you're going there.
You do?
Of course I do. It's obvious you're in love. You're eloping, and they say romance is dead.
What's the book you're reading?
Oh, it's something I picked up at the station. A medieval detective story. Quite well written for that kind of thing. It's been out of print for years.
What's the title of the book?
The Crooked Crusader Caper by Molly Pegram. I assumed the author was a woman, but apparently not. His real name is...
Professor Nigel Pegram.
That's right. Do you know him?
No, I never met him.
George is a great fan of his, though.
Would you believe that this clown's nose led us to being on this train tonight?
I would indeed.
No, honestly, You would?
Certainly. You have an honest face.
Yep. That's a nose with a history, all right.
So you said.
Do you know what this is?
Yes, I do. A young friend of mine shook my hand with one just the other day.
Yeah? Well, that's outrageous. He should be shot.
Perhaps. Still, his intentions were good.
I'm sorry that you've been zapped by one of these things.
You shouldn't be.
Does the name Merlin mean anything to you?
Merlin, a master of illusions. Oh, you said Merlin? Then no, nothing.
Where are you going, George?
Do I need to spell it out?
Don't snap at me. If you're going to take a leak, why don't you say so?
Okay, I'm going to take a leak. L-E-A-K.
Tickets, please.
Oh, hi.
That's a standard full-price peak return. Don't you have a senior citizen's rail card?
I rarely travel by train. My ticket is perfectly valid, is it not?
Well, yeah, but you could have saved up to a third of the cost.
I do not need to indulge in puffling thriftiness.
Blimey, you're a funny old bird and no mistake. Tickets, please, sir.
Here.
Off to Sterling, eh?
Yes, we are.
Well, I hope you won't be disappointed. It's a miserable place this time of year. Still, there's plenty of pubs and a lovely view from the castle.
Thank you.
I don't want to worry you, but there was something familiar about that guy.
Are you sure? You're tired. Perhaps you're mistaken.
Maybe. But I didn't like the look in his eyes when he spoke to you.
Can't you sit still, George?
I need to go to the John.
While you're there, check out the buffet card, George. Unthinkable though it is, I am hungry enough to eat English food.
Okay. Oh, no. That gangster creep from the hotel, Guido. Well, he didn't scare me. Hey, Buster. This is a no-smoking car. Okay, maybe he did scare me. It got worse. I suddenly realized who the conductor had reminded me of. Eklund, Marquet's murderer. I really didn't want to shoot the breeze with this guy. The door was locked. I really didn't want to shoot the breeze with this guy. I should have known better than to leave Nico and the old lady alone. Suddenly, the sword of Baphomet took second place to finding the girl I loved. Hi, having a party?
No, this is British. Man, join us, man. Away, Basha, wake up, man. Which company?
His breath was like the outlet from a chemical factory.
Excuse my mate, he's taking a nap, sleeping like a bobby. I'll wake him up when we get to Newcastle.
We passed through Newcastle half an hour ago.
And I never noticed.
Would you like a red nose?
No thanks, pal, I got one of my own.
What is that stuff you're drinking? It smells like gasoline.
Right, I'll put tears in your chest, like.
And your eyeballs, too, by the looks of you. Did you see what happened to the young woman in the next compartment?
No, pal, I didn't. Have you lost her, like?
She's disappeared. The old lady, too. I think they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah, man, an old lady, too.
Yeah. You gotta help me.
Maybe they went to the toilet, like.
I don't think so.
They never go on their own. Always in pairs, you know.
No, she's been abducted, I'm sure. I've got to go look for her.
What's stopping you, pal?
The conductor. He's not what he seems.
You want to avoid him, like?
That's about it, yeah.
No problem.
Listen, I need your help.
What's the matter?
There's a guy on this train who's trying to kill me.
Relax, man. You wouldn't try nothing with us in Basharia. We are veterans, like. So action at Brightlingsea.
I don't recall the British Army being involved in a conflict at anywhere called Brightlingsea.
Well, you just take it from me, pal. You're in safe hands.
Have you ever seen this man before?
Aye, man. He's chalky white and I claim my 10 quid, like.
No, he's an international assassin, and he goes by the name Khan.
Well, aye, man, but I was close, you know.
Do you know what this is?
No, man, what is it?
It's a hand buzzer.
You won't catch me out with that, pal.
If I'd wanted to catch you out, I wouldn't have shown it to you, would I?
Well, maybe she's might, pal. Like a clever double bluff, you know.
See you later.
Give it to it, pal. Don't jump.
I don't intend to jump. I'm going to climb on top of the train.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Just watch me.
Hold on now, pal. I'll give you a hand, like.
You saved our lives, but why?
We were always on the same side, Stobbart. Different causes, but a common enemy.
The Knights Templar?
Don't call them that. The real Templars were a noble foe. These barbarians have no right to that name. These men are no better than dogs.
What are the Neo-Templars after? What is the Sword of Baphomet?
Not what you think, my friend. It is a weapon, yes, but one which our enemies will find difficult to wield. A double-edged sword. A power older than Demolay, older than Solomon.
We'll stop them. You and me together, and Nico.
No, George. My journey ends soon at the Garden of Paradise.
You're talking in riddles. Can't you tell me straight what they're after?
The sword symbolizes a colossal energy caused by the alignment of the Earth's natural power fields,
which are focused at St. Ninian's.
The energy endowed the Templars with the power which made them great, a power which made them charismatic to such an extent they could control the will of all around them.
Maybe not. That is not a good idea. How did you escape from the bull's head?
It is a long walk from the cliff of the bull to the village, Stobbart. Fortunately, I know the ways of the wilderness. May Allah guide you to our enemies.
Thanks.
One last thing.
What? What is it? He's dead. Don't worry, I hadn't forgotten about you.
Answer me this instant, George Stobbart.
I will, when I'm ready.
That's not fair, George.
No.
You took advantage while my hands were tied.
When Eklund pointed that gun at me, I thought I was gonna die. I thought of all the things I'd never get to do, and kissing you was at the top of my list.
George?
Uh-huh.
George, we've got to get off the train. Eklund could recover at any time.
So what are we waiting for?
What are you doing?
I'm out of here.
Not that door. Do you want to end up like Flap?
Not especially. What remains of him is well on his way back to London. I hope he was traveling on a return ticket. I'd feel happier if we had a gun or something.
Khan gave me something.
What?
His handbag.
Oh, great. If we run into any killers, we can give them a good buffeting. Didn't he have any weapons?
You don't know half of it. This bag's full of C4.
Wow. Why didn't you say so? Boy, we'll show him now. What's C4?
Plastic, George.
We're going to shop our way to victory?
2 kilos of plastic explosive. The detonator's broken now.
No problem. We'll buy a box of matches somewhere.
It doesn't work that way. It takes a small explosion to start the big explosion.
Well, that's not much use then. What does that sign say?
Apparently during the English Civil War in the mid-17th century, this place was used as an arms dump.
Yeah? What happened?
Look at the state of this place, George. You work it out.
Oh, stray spark?
You got it. The tower was the only thing to survive the blast.
I hope the explosion didn't destroy the Sword of Baphomet.
Do you? I rather hope it did.
The handle turned easily, and the larger wheel began to revolve. Damn! Then the handle came off in my hand. I scrabbled around in the rubble and found an old clay pipe with a broken stem. Now that the handle was gone, it was easy to remove the cog and spindle. I tried pushing the panel, but wasn't surprised. It was the handle from the church tower's winding mechanism. Under one of the stones, I found a metal coin which was green with age. It was an old coin. The cog was mounted on a short, slim spindle. The pipe could have been anything from 50 to several hundred years old. It wasn't the right... The cog wouldn't fit that hole. That wasn't the hole the handle was meant to fit into. It wasn't the right hole. The cog wouldn't fit. The cog slipped neatly into the eye socket. I was sure the clay pipe wasn't meant to fit in there. With the clay pipe in his mouth, he looked happy, homely, like somebody's granddaddy.
What do you think you're doing, Josh?
I wondered if there was a secret mechanism in the demon's mouth.
Maybe you should show a little more respect.
For a mythical medieval demon? Give me a break.
Okay, go right ahead. Meddle with forces you don't understand. Incur the demon's wrath and burn in hell. Just see if I care.
That wasn't the hole the handle was meant to fit into. No. I tried pushing the panel, but wasn't surprised when it failed to move. I tried It was caked with soil, but what I'd found was a small cog and spindle. With a rasp of metal on stone, I eased the second eye into place. Trying to fit the handle up the demon's nose would have taken all day. I couldn't insert the handle. The clay pipe was in the way. I pushed the handle into the demon's mouth. The cogs all meshed. I began to turn. As soon as I saw the flickering torches, I realized the bogus Templars had beaten us to the sword. But where were they now? And why was it so quiet?
Listen, I can definitely hear chanting.
You're right. I hear it too. What do you suppose they're doing?
It wouldn't surprise me if they were holding some kind of satanic sex ritual.
So, what are we waiting for? Will you look at that? Baphomet. Lovino was right. This place was ancient even to the Templars.
This whole place? This is Baphomet?
Finally, the truth. The Templars had never worshipped this graven image, no more than they'd worship a rainbow. But, like a rainbow, they regarded it as a symbol of a covenant with God, who'd revealed this place to them.
Rosso! Why, the double-dealing treacherous?
On the contrary, Inspector Rosso has been the model of obedience, an important quality in a true Templar. Now be quiet and watch, if you wish to live much longer.
Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here to witness the reforging of the sword that was broken. Here before God's sentinel, Baphomet, Grand Master and Knight of Baphomet, we salute
and pledge our obedience to you.
I salute you, gatekeeper of the temple. 7 centuries ago, our greatest weapon, the sword of Baphomet, was lost to us. Now we prepare to reforge it, to wield against new enemies. We shall lead the people to a new order, wherein all borders will dissolve. All will be united under the red cross of the Templars. George, we have watched your efforts to stop us with respect. But surely you realize that you have been misled by our enemies. Both of us want a better world. Fortunately, no harm has been done. We need determined, resourceful men like you. Join us, George. Join us in true brotherhood.
Yeah. True? Wait. Brothers? What about Marquet? What about Pegram and Klausner? You didn't look on them as brothers, only as failures. 3 men dead, and you don't give a damn.
George, you know that sacrifices are necessary. Every great undertaking.
Join you. I'll see you in hell first.
Ah, George, I had great hopes for you. C'est la guerre. Eklund, kill him.
I swear, I just wanted things to be right.
Take them. Kill them. They will not escape.
Well, well. If it isn't the great detective and his beautiful assistant, it's going to be a pleasure killing the pair of you.
George, what are we going to do?
Come on, Nico. We're leaving.
You fools! You cannot escape us. Guido! Stop them. But master, the powder! That powder is from the English Civil War. You fool. It's over 300 years old. How explosive do you think it can be?
I thought it was all over, but Nico had one last trick up her sleeve. Or in her handbag, to be exact. A handbag full of plastic explosives.
Maybe, but this stuff is brand new.
We didn't stay long in Scotland. George had a vacation to finish, and I had another story to write. Not the real story, of course, but enough half-truths to fill a page and pay my rent for the month. George and I hung out together in Paris. I showed him my favorite restaurants, and he told me his best jokes.
You know, Nico, this city holds so many memories for me now. The cafes, the music.
The sewers.
Tell me about it. The clowns.
The jugglers.
And your pal Labano.
Oh, yes, dear Andre.
When we first met, and I was doing my detective stuff, you kind of disappeared a lot, Nico. Were you and Labano,
There was something happening, but nothing to do with Andre.
Uh-huh.
It was something from the past that I had to deal with, on my own. So, I dealt with it, and now it's over.
Hey, did I ever tell you the one about the old Irish couple in the lottery?
No, but I think you're going to.
Okay, there's this old Irish couple. They've been married forever, like 50 years, and they win the lottery.